Hey, have you ever been right in the middle of a great story and suddenly you freeze? Should you say, I could do it or I was able to do it? If so, you are definitely not alone. This is such a common little grammar trap, but don't worry. Today, we're going to solve this puzzle once and for all.
So which one is it? Is one right and the other wrong? Well, the answer is it totally depends on what you're trying to say. Let's dive into the difference so you can nail it every single time.
Okay, picture this. You're telling a story about when you were a kid. It's easy to say, oh yeah, I could climb trees, right? That just means you had the skill, the general ability. But what if you're talking about that one time you climbed that huge oak tree in your neighbor's yard? That one specific time? See? That's where it gets tricky.
All right, let's dive in and really set the stage for this little grammar puzzle.
So here are our two main players, right? On one side, you've got the simple, easy could, and on the other, the slightly longer was or were able to. Now, they both talk about things that happened in the past, but believe me, they are not interchangeable.
Okay, here's the absolute core of it, the main rule you need to remember. It all comes down to one thing. Are you talking about a general ability or a specific achievement? Let's get into it.
You know, it's funny. In the present tense, everything's simple. I can speak Farsi and I am able to speak Farsi mean pretty much the same thing. No problem there. But once we step back into the past, that easy relationship completely falls apart. I could and I was able to suddenly mean very different things.
So here it is, the number one thing to remember. We use could when we're talking about a general skill you had, something you possessed over time in the past. Just think of it like something you knew how to do. On the flip side, was or were able to is all about a specific moment, a time you actually succeeded at doing something. It's about that one-off achievement. And honestly, getting this right makes your storytelling so much more precise.
Check out this example. It's perfect. Jackson's very intelligent. He could read by the time he was 3. See? We're not talking about him reading one specific book on his 3rd birthday. Nope. We're talking about the general skill of reading that he developed as a young child. It's about the ability itself.
Okay, now for what I call the single action rule. This is where the rubber really meets the road, so let's put this to the test. All right, listen up, because this is really the heart of it all. When you're talking about one single successful action in the past, something you actually managed to do, you almost never use could. This is where most people get tripped up. Let's look at a super clear example, Maya's exam. That was a one-time event, right? And she succeeded. So you wouldn't say Maya could do well on her exam. The right way to say it is Maya was able to do well on her exam. See how that captures the one-time success? It's so much more specific. And here's another one. Imagine you're running for a train, you think you're going to miss it, but you make it. You wouldn't say, we could catch the train. You'd say, we were late, but we were able to catch the train. It emphasizes that success, that you pulled it off in that one specific moment. Okay, so you've got the main rule down. But you know grammar, right? There are always a few twists. Let's talk about negatives and a special group of verbs.
And here's some good news for you. The rules actually get way easier when we're talking about the negative, when you failed to do something. In that case, couldn't and wasn't able to are pretty much interchangeable. You can say, I couldn't do anything last week, or I wasn't able to do anything last week, and guess what? Both are totally correct.
Phew! So negatives are easy, right? But wait a minute, what about those times when you can use could for a single positive action? Is there an exception to the rule? Oh yes, there's one more layer to this puzzle we need to uncover. Okay, here they are, the exceptions to the rule. There's a special little group of verbs of perception, like hear, see, feel, smell, and taste, and verbs about thinking, like understand, remember, and guess. With these verbs, you actually can use could for a single past event. For example, you'd totally say, from my seat, I could see the stage perfectly. Or, after he explained it, I could finally understand everything. It just sounds right, doesn't it?
Whew, okay. We've covered the main rule, the negatives, and the tricky exceptions. So now, let's put it all together in one simple, easy-to-use cheat sheet for you.
All right, this is basically all you need to know. Let's break it down. For a general past ability, like climbing trees as a kid, you're going to use could. For a specific success story, like finishing that big project, use was or were able to. When things go wrong, in the negative, you've got a choice, couldn't or wasn't able to. And finally, for that special club of sense and perception verbs, stick with could. See, when you lay it all out, it really is that simple. And there you have it. The puzzle is officially solved. Now here's a little challenge for you. The next time you're listening to someone tell a story in a movie, a podcast, or just a friend, listen closely. Can you hear the difference? Can you spot when they're talking about a general skill versus a specific success? Because now you have the secret. You have the key to not just understanding it, but to making your own stories that much clearer and that much more powerful.